Have you ever felt trapped in an endless loop of effort, disappointment, and exhaustion, despite pouring your heart and soul into making positive changes in your life? You read the books, watch inspiring videos, repeat affirmations, and visualize your dreams. Yet somehow you find yourself continuously stuck in the same old patterns. Maybe it feels like no matter how hard you push, you're merely spinning in circles, returning again and again to a reality you desperately want to escape. It's frustrating, isn't it? You genuinely want change, yet change remains elusive. You start to wonder if there's something wrong with you. Doubts creep in, whispering that perhaps you're just not good enough, disciplined enough, or lucky enough. The painful truth many face is that the harder they try, the more distant their desired reality seems to become. But here is the paradox that most people never discover. Achieving the life you want isn't about increasing your effort. It's about shifting your frequency. Think about this for a moment. What if you've been misunderstanding reality itself? What if your struggle to change circumstances has been fundamentally flawed? Not because you lack capability, but because you've been operating under a mistaken belief about how reality actually works? Traditional self-help teachings have conditioned us to believe that we must wrestle reality into submission, force it to yield to our desires through sheer determination. But the truth is far simpler and infinitely more powerful. Reality isn't something you force into existence. It's something you tune into. In other words, you don't attract the reality you desire. You become resonant with it. This subtle but crucial distinction is where true transformation begins. Quantum physics has been pointing to this truth for decades, yet it's a secret rarely discussed outside specialized circles. What if, right now, there's a completely different version of reality, waiting patiently for you to align with it? A reality where abundance flows effortlessly, relationships flourish naturally, and opportunities appear at the perfect moment. Not because you chased them down, but because your energetic frequency invited them in. The life you deeply desire isn't something distant or out of reach. It's already here, simultaneously existing alongside the life you're currently experiencing. Quantum mechanics reveals that all potential realities coexist in a vast, infinite field of possibilities. Your job isn't to force the universe to deliver your ideal life. Your job is simply to become the version of yourself who is already aligned with that reality. When your inner state shifts, your outer world inevitably follows. But how exactly does this happen? If it's truly that simple, why haven't more people succeeded in harnessing this knowledge? The short answer: because most have been misled by outdated methods, trapped in old identities, and tangled in the wrong frequencies. They've been fighting to change their outer world without first shifting the inner state that creates it. In the next section, we'll uncover precisely why your past efforts haven't worked, the hidden reasons you're still stuck in patterns you consciously wish to break, and how your previous understanding of creating reality has been unintentionally sabotaging your success. By the end, you'll clearly see why your failures weren't a matter of insufficient effort, but simply misguided alignment. And you'll know exactly what to do differently to finally experience the transformation you've been longing for. Have you ever wondered why, despite your relentless efforts, life stubbornly stays the same? You've done everything you've been taught. Visualization boards cover your walls, positive affirmations fill your notebooks, and you've meditated until your mind feels clear and calm. Yet inevitably, after brief moments of motivation and progress, you find yourself slipping back into the same old patterns, the same old frustrations, disappointments, and fears. It's tempting at these times to believe you're simply not trying hard enough, but let me assure you, effort is not the issue. The problem is deeper and more subtle. It's not your strength of will, but rather the direction of your energy. You haven't failed because you're weak. You've failed because your method of creating change is fundamentally flawed. The truth is harsh, but freeing. You cannot change your external reality if your internal state remains the same. Most people approach change backward, They spend endless amounts of energy trying to rearrange external circumstances, attempting to improve their finances by forcing more work hours, struggling to mend relationships by controlling the behavior of others, or chasing opportunities out of desperation. Yet, these attempts rarely yield lasting results. Why? Because these actions are rooted in the same energetic frequency that created their undesired circumstances in the first place. Imagine trying to fix a distorted reflection by adjusting the mirror itself. No matter how hard you polish or push the mirror, the reflection will remain distorted until you alter the actual object in front of it. Your reality is exactly that, a reflection. It mirrors your internal identity, the subconscious blueprint you've built over the years through experiences, beliefs, and emotions. Here is where the critical mistake happens. When you try to change your life without shifting your inner identity first, you are engaging in a battle that can never truly be won. You experience brief successes, perhaps, a temporary financial boost, a momentary improvement in relationships. But soon enough, your reality snaps back into alignment with your old subconscious patterns. This phenomenon, known as frequency mismatch, traps you in cycles of repeated frustration and disappointment. It's like tuning into a station you dislike, desperately trying to change the music playing on that channel, rather than simply adjusting your frequency to receive a different broadcast. Take the popular law of attraction, for instance. Millions have tried to manifest abundance, happiness, and love using positive thinking alone, repeating affirmations such as, "I am wealthy," "I am happy," or "I am loved." Yet most fail, or quickly lose faith. The reason is simple. They never fully understood the mechanics behind the process. Merely saying these affirmations at the surface level won't override the powerful subconscious frequencies of scarcity, fear, or unworthiness that lie beneath. Affirmations alone do not shift your deep internal state. They often only highlight the gap between your desired reality and your subconscious beliefs. When your subconscious mind remains anchored in limiting beliefs, each attempt at positive change triggers what can be called identity collapse. This means your old, familiar self, a self rooted in past experiences and programmed fears, reasserts control, sabotaging your attempts at transformation. Identity collapse explains why lottery winners often end up broke again, why dieters frequently regain lost weight, or why short-term successes quickly vanish. Your old identity exerts a gravitational pull, dragging you back into familiar suffering, because familiarity, however painful, is psychologically perceived as safe. This might sound paradoxical, but it's precisely why you're stuck. Your subconscious mind prioritizes safety and predictability over happiness or fulfillment. Deep down, you hold unconscious beliefs such as, "I'm not worthy," "Success isn't for someone like me," or "Good things never last." These hidden scripts continuously broadcast their signals, undermining conscious efforts and leading directly to timeline sabotage. Every time you reach for a new reality, these hidden frequencies silently pull you back into old patterns. But don't despair. Understanding this is your key to freedom. Recognizing the existence of these subconscious frequencies is your first crucial step toward changing them. You can't break a cycle if you don't realize you're trapped in one. And the good news is, once you clearly see this pattern, you can intentionally shift your identity and align yourself with a completely different timeline, one in harmony with your desires, dreams, and highest potential. Yet, time is of the essence. Every moment you delay facing this truth, your subconscious reinforces its old identity. The longer you wait, the more entrenched these patterns become, making change progressively more challenging. This isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to awaken you to the urgency of shifting your approach right now. You have the power to choose a different path, but hesitation will only prolong your struggle, keeping you trapped in a reality you desperately wish to escape. So, how do you finally break free from these cycles of self-sabotage, frustration, and limitation? How do you transcend mere affirmations and surface-level positivity to create profound, lasting change in your life? The answer lies in understanding and applying a revolutionary yet simple truth known as the quantum shift. Quantum shift isn't a complex scientific theory reserved for physicists. It's a powerful, practical approach that anyone can grasp and implement. At its heart lies the realization that your internal frequency, your energetic and emotional state, directly shapes your external reality. This groundbreaking insight doesn't just help you manifest quicker or easier. It fundamentally transforms your entire approach to life, allowing you to consciously select the reality you desire rather than passively accept the one you've been handed. In the next section, we'll dive deeply into the science and spiritual principles behind quantum shift. You'll discover exactly how quantum physics validates this internal approach to transformation and how you can effortlessly align yourself with the frequency of your desired reality. Once you understand the simple yet powerful principles behind quantum shift, you will never again waste energy fighting against external circumstances. Instead, you'll know precisely how to adjust your internal state and smoothly step into the life that has always been waiting for you. The choice is yours, and the time to make that choice is now. Because if you continue to delay, you risk living forever in a timeline that doesn't reflect who you truly are or what you're truly capable of becoming. For centuries, humanity believed that the world outside us is fixed, solid, and separate from our internal world. We've been conditioned to think of reality as something external, something that exists independently and objectively, something we must fight, change, or manipulate through sheer effort. But recent discoveries in quantum physics have completely transformed this outdated view. Science now reveals a startling truth. Reality isn't fixed or separate. It's dynamic, interconnected, and directly responsive to your inner state. Let's make this clear. You don't actually create your reality in the traditional sense. Instead, you shift your internal frequency to match the reality that already exists. In other words, your desired life isn't something you must build from scratch. It's something you must align with. It's a subtle but profoundly empowering shift in perspective. To fully grasp this powerful idea, let's briefly explore two groundbreaking principles of quantum physics in the simplest terms possible: quantum entanglement and the observer effect. Understanding these two concepts clearly will forever change the way you see your world and your ability to shape it. Quantum entanglement. Imagine two particles that are deeply connected. No matter how far apart they are, even if separated by billions of miles, the state of one instantly influences the state of the other. This phenomenon, scientifically proven and known as quantum entanglement, reveals a profound truth. Everything in the universe is interconnected through invisible energetic threads. You, too, are entangled with the reality you experience. Your emotional state, thoughts, and subconscious beliefs constantly communicate with the quantum field, the infinite sea of potential outcomes. Your inner world is not isolated from your outer reality. It is continuously influencing it. Think of your internal state as a powerful transmitter, continuously sending out energetic signals. These signals instantly affect your environment, your relationships, your health, and even seemingly random circumstances. This entanglement explains why, when you're in a state of gratitude and joy, life often responds by bringing you even more joyful experiences. Conversely, when you're stuck in fear, anxiety, or negativity, life seems to reflect those same painful patterns. You aren't attracting random events. You are synchronizing yourself energetically with the outcomes already available to you in the quantum field. Your frequency is literally creating an energetic bridge to specific realities that already exist and await your alignment. The observer effect. Equally fascinating is the quantum principle known as the observer effect, which states that particles of matter behave differently when they are observed. Scientists discovered through rigorous experiments that matter exists simultaneously as waves of potential until observed, at which point these waves collapse into specific, measurable particles. Reality at the quantum level only takes definite form when someone consciously observes it. In simpler terms, your perception, your act of observation, literally shapes your reality. When you focus your awareness on certain beliefs or expectations, you cause specific possibilities to manifest from a state of infinite potentials. If your observation is rooted in fear and limitation, you continuously collapse reality into outcomes that match those beliefs. If your observation aligns with abundance, joy, and love, reality reflects those positive outcomes back to you. Think about this like tuning into a radio station. At any given moment, all stations broadcast simultaneously, but your radio picks up only one, the one you're tuned into. If you're tuned into a station broadcasting negative news and fear-based stories, that is exactly what you hear and experience. The world around you appears bleak because that's precisely the channel you selected. You might desperately want uplifting music, inspiring conversations, or beautiful melodies, but unless you shift the dial, you'll remain trapped on that negative frequency. This simple metaphor explains precisely why your life often seems stuck. You're not consciously choosing negative experiences, yet subconsciously, your inner frequency, shaped by your deep-seated beliefs and emotional patterns, keeps you tuned into unwanted realities. Until you deliberately shift your frequency, you'll continue receiving experiences that match your subconscious beliefs and emotional patterns. Another powerful metaphor is the mirror. Imagine standing in front of a mirror frowning, then complaining because your reflection isn't smiling back at you. Sounds absurd, right? Yet, this is exactly how most of us approach life. We desperately try to change our outer circumstances, relationships, finances, health, without first altering our inner emotional and energetic state. The mirror of reality can only reflect back exactly what you're projecting. If you want a different reflection, you must first shift internally. Here lies the key. You don't need to control external reality. You only need to consciously control your internal frequency. Your inner state is your single point of power. Your job isn't to make things happen, but to align yourself energetically and emotionally with the outcomes you desire. Once you achieve this alignment, your external circumstances automatically begin shifting to match your new internal state. Let me say this again with absolute clarity. You don't change reality through force. You shift it effortlessly by becoming internally coherent with the reality you want. This is the heart of quantum shift, the revolutionary yet profoundly simple secret to lasting transformation. When your inner frequency matches your desired reality, circumstances align effortlessly. Opportunities appear exactly when needed. People enter your life at precisely the right moments. Life feels easy, natural, and abundant, not because you forced it, but because your energetic alignment allowed you to effortlessly tune into a timeline that already existed for you. So, how do you practically apply this powerful knowledge to create real, lasting change? How do you move beyond intellectual understanding and genuinely align yourself with your desired reality? This is precisely the secret most people overlook, and precisely what you're about to discover clearly. In the following section, you'll learn about two powerful concepts, identity collapse and frequency coherence, that allow you to intentionally adjust your internal state to effortlessly align with the life you've been dreaming of. These two simple yet profound practices can finally break the cycle of frustration, disappointment, and limitation you've experienced until now. When you truly understand how to collapse old, limiting identities and achieve frequency coherence, you'll no longer feel the need to struggle against external circumstances. You'll realize how easily you can shift realities simply by adjusting your internal frequency. The quantum shift isn't complex. It's elegantly simple, immediately practical, and profoundly transformative. You hold the power right now to shift into a completely different version of your life, one filled with abundance, clarity, and joy. The question isn't whether you can do it. The only question is whether you're ready to make this powerful internal shift today. Now that you've clearly understood how your internal state shapes your reality, let's dive deeper into two powerful concepts that will enable you to finally escape the loop of frustration and stagnation. These two concepts, identity collapse and frequency coherence, might sound sophisticated, but they're profoundly simple and immediately actionable. Once mastered, they'll become your personal keys to effortlessly shifting into the life you've always desired. Identity collapse might initially sound intimidating. After all, the word collapse suggests something dramatic and painful. But don't let that deter you. In reality, identity collapse simply means releasing outdated identities that have kept you trapped. Imagine your identity as a heavy coat you've worn for years. This coat is woven from old beliefs, past traumas, social conditioning, and emotional habits. It's familiar, comfortable, and seemingly safe, but it's also incredibly limiting. It weighs you down, making it almost impossible to freely step into new experiences and better realities. Most people wear their outdated identities unconsciously. They carry labels like, "I'm always unlucky," "I struggle financially," "relationships never last for me," or "I'm not talented enough." These are not harmless thoughts. They are frequencies, broadcasting constantly, anchoring you into realities matching precisely those limiting beliefs. The secret, then, is consciously allowing these old identities to collapse, to gently but firmly release them, freeing yourself to embody a completely new self-concept. Think of it this way: to experience new outcomes, you must become a different version of yourself. It's impossible to remain exactly who you were and yet live a completely different life. Identity collapse isn't about losing yourself. It's about intentionally discarding the limiting aspects of your identity that no longer serve you, allowing your true potential to emerge clearly. By consciously choosing to let go of outdated labels, you're creating space for something new, something aligned with your desires. But letting go can feel daunting. After all, your old identity has guided your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors for years, maybe decades. Your subconscious mind clings tightly to familiarity, even when that familiarity is painful or limiting. Identity collapse can feel unsettling at first precisely because you're stepping into unfamiliar territory. However, this uncertainty is temporary. It soon transforms into excitement and liberation as you begin experiencing tangible shifts in your external world. And here's where the second crucial concept, frequency coherence, comes into play. Frequency coherence is simply the internal state of clear, stable alignment between your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions. It means your internal frequency is consistent, unified, and fully in harmony with your desired reality. Rather than broadcasting conflicting signals, such as consciously desiring abundance while subconsciously feeling undeserving, you broadcast one clear, coherent frequency. When you achieve frequency coherence, you effortlessly attract experiences and outcomes matching your chosen internal state. Again, the principle here is beautifully simple. Reality matches your internal coherence. If your inner world is chaotic and conflicted, your outer world mirrors chaos and conflict. But when your internal frequency aligns clearly, powerfully, and consistently with abundance, love, success, or health, reality responds by seamlessly reflecting exactly those states. Frequency coherence isn't magic. It's physics, practical and verifiable. Imagine trying to tune a guitar. If the strings are out of tune, no matter how skillfully you play, the music will sound unpleasant. But when the strings are perfectly tuned, coherent and harmonious vibrations resonate beautifully, creating music effortlessly. Your life works exactly the same way. Internal coherence aligns you naturally with the outcomes you desire, allowing you to experience them without struggle or force. Here's the most reassuring part. Achieving identity collapse and frequency coherence doesn't require complicated rituals or years of practice. You don't need expensive courses, mystical secrets, or complicated philosophies. The process is straightforward. It simply involves recognizing your limiting identities, consciously releasing them, and cultivating a coherent, internal frequency matching your ideal reality. Let's examine a real-life example to illustrate clearly how identity collapse and frequency coherence effortlessly transform reality. Sarah had always struggled financially. Despite being smart and hardworking, she constantly found herself in debt, feeling powerless to escape her circumstances. Her subconscious identity included beliefs such as, "I always struggle," "I never have enough money," and "Financial freedom is impossible for someone like me." She tried manifesting, affirmations, and working longer hours, but nothing fundamentally changed. Why? Because her subconscious identity remained firmly anchored in scarcity. When Sarah finally understood identity collapse, she took a new approach. She consciously identified her limiting beliefs, acknowledged them without judgment, and deliberately released them. Instead of fighting or repressing these beliefs, she simply allowed them to dissolve. She began cultivating a new identity rooted in abundance, consciously focusing her thoughts, emotions, and actions on prosperity and self-worth. Gradually, her inner frequency shifted into coherence, aligned fully with financial abundance. Within weeks, Sarah experienced tangible results: unexpected job offers, improved financial opportunities, and newfound clarity. It wasn't luck or coincidence. Her reality had simply shifted to match her coherent internal frequency. Sarah didn't force anything externally. She adjusted her internal state clearly and consciously, and her external circumstances followed effortlessly. Sarah's story isn't unusual. Thousands of people who understand these concepts experience similar quantum leaps. The key lies entirely in your internal state, not effort, force, or external struggle. The quantum shift is about clarity, simplicity, and coherence. You don't need to understand quantum mechanics intricately. You only need to understand this: your internal frequency is everything. When your internal frequency is coherent and stable, reality responds automatically, beautifully, and powerfully. You can begin achieving frequency coherence immediately, right now. You don't need years of meditation or complex rituals. Simply become consciously aware of your internal emotional state throughout the day. Notice when you slip into old frequencies of fear, limitation, or negativity. Gently, consciously shift back into coherence, returning your awareness to thoughts, emotions, and feelings aligned with your desired reality. Here's your simple and empowering truth. You don't need complexity. You only need internal clarity. Changing your reality is fundamentally straightforward. Just adjust your inner quantum frequency. This is your true power and your greatest freedom. In the next section, we'll outline clearly and practically exactly how you can begin implementing identity collapse and frequency coherence in your daily life. You'll discover actionable steps that allow you to deliberately shift your frequency, consciously aligning with the reality you deeply desire. This process isn't abstract or theoretical. It's immediate, practical, and transformative. By following the straightforward methods outlined clearly, you'll finally step into the life that's always been waiting patiently for you. You hold in your hands the keys to genuine, lasting transformation. The question now is, are you ready to let your old identity gently collapse, allowing yourself to rebirth as the powerful creator of your own life? If your answer is yes, let's move forward right now to the practical steps that will effortlessly unlock your new reality. Before you can let something go, you must clearly see what you're releasing. Take a moment to honestly examine your internal beliefs, thought patterns, and emotional habits. What recurring themes emerge when you consider areas of your life where you feel stuck? Maybe you habitually think, "I'll never be financially secure," "I'm always unlucky," or "I'm not good enough for a loving relationship." These beliefs aren't harmless. They're energetic anchors holding you firmly in your unwanted timeline. Here's a simple way to clearly identify your old identity. Reflect quietly and honestly on your life. Write down recurring negative thoughts, patterns, and beliefs that frequently arise. Don't judge or criticize, simply observe and write them down. This clarity alone begins to weaken their subconscious hold, preparing you for the crucial next step. The next step is vividly choosing the reality you want to align with. Remember, all potential timelines already exist simultaneously in the quantum field. Your job is simply tuning yourself clearly into the desired frequency. What does your ideal reality look and feel like? Get specific, vivid, and emotional. Don't settle for vague goals such as "I want more money" or "I want to be happier." Instead, clearly imagine the details of your ideal timeline. What you're doing, how you're feeling, where you're living, the people around you, and the emotional quality of each day. Write this down clearly in detail. Feel into this timeline. Let yourself deeply experience it emotionally. By clearly selecting your desired timeline, you're already shifting your internal frequency and preparing your subconscious mind for new possibilities. Daily practice is essential to maintain your new coherent frequency. Remember, frequency coherence simply means aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions consistently with your chosen reality. There are several simple yet highly effective techniques to achieve this daily coherence. One powerful practice is daily meditation combined with visualization. Spend just 10 to 15 minutes each morning quietly sitting, relaxing your mind, and vividly visualizing your chosen timeline. Imagine stepping directly into it as if it's already happening. Feel genuine gratitude for living in that reality. Gratitude amplifies frequency coherence powerfully, aligning you even faster with your desired reality. Another useful daily practice is journaling. Take 5 to 10 minutes daily to clearly write down positive affirmations, reinforcing your chosen identity. Write them in the present tense. "I am abundant." "I easily attract loving relationships." "I am confident and successful in all that I do." Writing affirmations regularly aligns your subconscious mind powerfully with your new coherent frequency. Also, throughout each day, gently check in with yourself, consciously shifting back to coherence if you notice yourself slipping into old thoughts or emotions. This conscious practice quickly creates powerful momentum toward your desired reality. As you consistently practice frequency coherence, reality responds swiftly and clearly. Pay close attention. Your environment will begin shifting subtly at first, then more noticeably. You'll know you're doing it right when clear signs appear, confirming your internal alignment. Typical positive signs of effective quantum shift practice include a noticeable sense of inner peace and emotional clarity. Anxiety and fear naturally decrease, replaced by calmness, ease, and confidence. Clear, intuitive nudges guiding your decisions effortlessly. Opportunities suddenly appear at exactly the right moments. Synchronicities, seemingly random events that carry profound meaning or perfectly match your intentions, begin occurring frequently. For example, you might randomly encounter exactly the person, opportunity, or resource you were just visualizing. Your overall energy increases. Life feels lighter, easier, and more effortless. If these signs begin clearly appearing, congratulate yourself. Your frequency coherence practice is working beautifully. Conversely, if you experience frustration, persistent confusion, or ongoing negative emotions, gently remind yourself to return to coherence through visualization, meditation, or journaling. The solution is always simple. Realign your internal frequency clearly and consistently. As you experience clear signs of positive change, it's crucial to consciously reinforce your new frequency. Your old subconscious identity will sometimes attempt to reassert itself, subtly trying to pull you back into old patterns. Don't panic if this occurs. It's normal and temporary. Simply recognize these moments as invitations to consciously reinforce your new coherent frequency. Whenever old doubts or fears arise, gently remind yourself of your new identity, your chosen timeline, and the powerful coherence practices that got you there. Return again and again to your visualization practice. Reaffirm clearly your new coherent identity through journaling and affirmations. Remind yourself constantly that your external reality is simply reflecting your internal state. The more frequently you consciously practice coherence, the weaker your old identity becomes. Soon, your new identity stabilizes firmly, and maintaining coherence feels natural and effortless. Life responds effortlessly as well, continuously aligning itself with your coherent internal frequency. Remember clearly, achieving quantum shift doesn't require perfection. It simply requires consistency. Small, consistent shifts in your internal state quickly compound, resulting in profound, effortless external change. Trust the simplicity of this process and practice consistently, especially during moments of doubt or temporary setbacks. As you follow these 5 clear steps, you'll discover firsthand the ease and joy of quantum shift. You'll no longer waste precious energy fighting external circumstances or struggling against life. Instead, you'll naturally flow with life, consciously selecting and aligning with your desired reality. In the next section, you'll explore inspiring real-life examples of people who've successfully applied these practical steps, experiencing dramatic quantum leaps in their finances, relationships, health, and overall fulfillment. Their stories will reassure and inspire you, clearly demonstrating that you're capable of achieving precisely the same results. You now have a clear, practical roadmap for quantum shift. Everything you desire is closer than ever before, not because you must chase it, but because your coherent internal frequency naturally invites it. The next powerful chapter of your life is already here, waiting clearly and patiently for your conscious alignment. All you must do is follow these simple, practical steps and confidently step forward into your beautiful new timeline. Part 6. Real-life quantum leaps. People who successfully shifted their timelines. By now, you clearly understand how quantum shift works. But perhaps there's still a quiet voice of doubt whispering inside your mind. Is this really possible? Can something so simple truly transform my life so drastically? Let me put your doubts to rest by introducing you to 3 real-life stories. Stories of ordinary people who have successfully shifted their timelines through the exact process you've just learned. Each story is powerful, relatable, and serves as undeniable proof that what you're striving for is absolutely within your reach. If they did it, so can you. Emily's story. Healing through frequency alignment. Emily had spent years struggling with chronic illness, constant fatigue, severe anxiety, and unexplained physical pain that doctors couldn't fully diagnose or resolve. By the time she discovered quantum shift, she had nearly given up hope. She had exhausted traditional medicine, therapy, and various holistic treatments without significant improvement. When Emily learned about identity collapse and frequency coherence, something immediately resonated deeply within her. She recognized that beneath her chronic illness was an entrenched subconscious identity built around feeling powerless, overwhelmed, and unworthy of health and happiness. This realization became the turning point for her transformation. She clearly identified and consciously released her old identity, embracing a new internal frequency rooted in empowerment, vitality, and unconditional self-love. Each morning, Emily meditated for just 10 minutes, vividly visualizing herself as healthy, vibrant, and free of pain. She journaled affirmations reinforcing her new coherent frequency, phrases like, "I am whole and healthy," "My body heals effortlessly," and "I deserve vitality and joy." Within weeks, Emily noticed profound changes. Her chronic pain began to diminish significantly, energy levels surged dramatically. Anxiety subsided, replaced by inner peace and emotional stability she hadn't experienced in years. Friends and family noticed her remarkable transformation, often commenting that she seemed like an entirely different person. Today, Emily's life bears no resemblance to her previous reality. She now travels, engages in regular physical activities, and radiates health and vitality. Emily didn't achieve these results by chasing external solutions, but simply by aligning her internal frequency clearly with health and abundance. Mark's story: quantum shift in financial reality. Mark spent nearly his entire adult life feeling stuck financially. No matter how hard he worked, how diligently he saved, or how carefully he budgeted, financial freedom constantly eluded him. Debt accumulated, anxiety mounted, and Mark became increasingly frustrated and disillusioned. When Mark first encountered the concept of quantum shift, he was skeptical but curious. He knew his old subconscious identity revolved around scarcity, struggle, and deep-seated beliefs inherited from his family. Beliefs like, money doesn't come easily, wealth isn't for people like us, and life is always a financial battle. Instead of continuing to battle external circumstances, Mark decided to clearly apply identity collapse and frequency coherence. He consciously let go of his scarcity identity, affirming repeatedly and consistently, "I am financially abundant. Opportunities come effortlessly to me, and I deserve financial freedom." Every day, Mark visualized his desired timeline, a reality where money flowed naturally, debt vanished, and abundance felt easy and joyful. Within a few short months, Mark experienced remarkable shifts. Unexpected opportunities arose, new job offers, unexpected bonuses, and financial resources appearing precisely when needed. Mark's financial situation quickly improved, debt reduced, savings increased, and anxiety disappeared. The external circumstances hadn't changed through force or struggle. They shifted effortlessly because Mark adjusted his internal frequency clearly and consistently. Today, Mark lives completely debt-free, confidently and abundantly. His relationship with money transformed profoundly, not because he chased money, but because he clearly aligned internally with the frequency of abundance. Sophie's story: quantum leap in relationships. Sophie had consistently struggled in relationships, repeatedly attracting emotionally unavailable or toxic partners. Despite conscious efforts to find healthy love, her subconscious beliefs consistently drew her toward familiar patterns of rejection and heartbreak. Deep down, Sophie believed, "I'm unlovable. Healthy relationships don't happen for people like me, and I'm always abandoned." Discovering quantum shift was a breakthrough for Sophie. She recognized immediately that her old identity was the root cause of her relationship struggles. Rather than continuing to blame external circumstances, she focused clearly on shifting her internal frequency. Sophie consciously collapsed her old identity of unworthiness, cultivating instead an internal coherence built upon self-love, confidence, and emotional openness. Each morning, Sophie vividly visualized her ideal partner and healthy, loving relationship. She journaled daily affirmations that clearly reinforced her new identity. "I attract loving, supportive relationships. I am deeply worthy of love. And my relationships are fulfilling and joyful." Within months, Sophie's life shifted dramatically. She effortlessly attracted a loving, supportive partner whose presence mirrored her newly coherent frequency. Unlike past relationships, this one was deeply nurturing, emotionally healthy, and deeply fulfilling. Her friends remarked that she seemed radiant, confident, and genuinely happy, an external reflection of her clear internal alignment. Sophie's new relationship thrived naturally, effortlessly reflecting her transformed internal frequency. She discovered firsthand that healthy love wasn't something she had to chase or earn. It was something she simply aligned herself with internally. These real-life stories aren't rare exceptions. They're powerful examples of ordinary individuals who, through clear and consistent internal frequency alignment, successfully shifted their realities. Emily, Mark, and Sophie didn't possess special abilities or extraordinary luck. They simply recognized their power clearly, applied quantum shift consistently, and experienced profound, tangible transformations. Here's your empowering truth. If they did it, you can absolutely do it too. Your current circumstances aren't fixed or permanent. They're simply a reflection of your current internal frequency. Change your frequency clearly, and your external reality effortlessly shifts with you. You don't have to struggle, suffer, or chase anything externally. Your true power lies in your internal coherence. Now that you've clearly seen what's possible, the question becomes simple and immediate. Are you ready to let go of doubts, fears, and limitations holding you back? Are you ready to consciously and powerfully shift your timeline? In the next and final section, you'll receive a powerful call to action, your invitation to immediately step forward and clearly embrace your new timeline. The decision is yours alone, and your life is ready to transform beautifully the moment you clearly and consciously choose it. Part 7. Now or never. Which timeline do you choose? At this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. The life you deeply desire is no longer a distant dream or vague possibility. It's a clear, tangible reality that's already waiting patiently for your alignment. But to claim this new reality, you must make a clear and conscious choice right now. Because here's the honest truth. If you delay action today, you'll remain trapped in your old identity, repeating the same frustrating patterns you've always known. Your subconscious fears, doubts, and limitations will quietly strengthen, making it increasingly difficult to break free. Each day you hesitate, your old reality solidifies further, reinforcing your past identity rather than your future potential. Is that really the life you want? Or are you ready, finally and courageously, to step into a completely new timeline? A timeline filled with abundance, love, health, joy, and effortless fulfillment. Think carefully about this question because your answer holds immense power. Which timeline are you choosing right now? The beauty and simplicity of quantum shift is that you don't need to wait years, months, or even weeks. You're only one clear decision away from transforming your entire reality. One clear internal shift is enough to set a completely new course. Right now, this precise moment is your powerful opportunity to consciously choose that shift. You don't need to wait for perfect timing or ideal circumstances. The universe responds clearly and immediately to your internal frequency, not external conditions. Your new life begins the instant you decide clearly and powerfully that you're ready. The past no longer defines or limits you unless you allow it. Your future remains unlimited, waiting simply for your coherent internal alignment. So right now, declare with absolute clarity that you're ready to collapse your old identity and fully embrace your new reality. This isn't just an exercise, it's your definitive turning point. Right now, clearly and consciously, decide exactly who you're becoming. Decide the timeline you're aligning yourself with. To reinforce your powerful decision, take action immediately, right now, by sharing your commitment with this supportive community. In the comment section below, clearly write down one thing you're ready to release today. It could be a limiting belief, a painful memory, an old emotional habit, or anything holding you back. When you publicly declare what you're releasing, you energetically reinforce your new identity, creating immediate momentum toward your chosen timeline. Additionally, choose and write down clearly one word symbolizing the powerful new reality you're committing to right now. It could be abundance, health, freedom, joy, love, or any word resonating deeply with your new timeline. Writing this word down anchors your commitment clearly into your subconscious mind and broadcasts it powerfully to the quantum field. This is more than just an interactive exercise. It's your powerful declaration to the universe and to yourself. As soon as you declare your choice clearly and publicly, reality immediately begins shifting in alignment with your coherent internal frequency. Opportunities, synchronicities, and positive experiences quickly follow your intentional choice. Don't underestimate your own power or the importance of taking immediate action. This single, clear choice right now can dramatically transform your entire future. Waiting and hesitating only reinforces your old identity. Clear, decisive action aligns you directly with your new abundant timeline. I invite you now, wholeheartedly and urgently, to take this powerful step. Clearly, write your commitment in the comments. Share your decision openly and bravely. And if you found value, inspiration, or clarity through this powerful process, please subscribe and share this video. Let's build a vibrant, empowered community, where together we support each other in consistently aligning clearly with the timelines we consciously choose. Remember clearly, you are infinitely powerful, your reality infinitely flexible. Your desired reality isn't something distant or difficult to achieve. It's already here, right now, waiting patiently and lovingly for your conscious alignment. Claim it clearly and courageously. Your new life begins today, right now, with this clear and conscious decision. Make your declaration in the comments, subscribe for continued clarity and support, and share this transformational message with others ready to shift their timelines. Together, we create a powerful quantum wave, clearly shifting not just our own lives, but positively influencing the lives of countless others. Now is your moment. Choose clearly, act powerfully, and embrace fully the magnificent reality that awaits you.